The Stillwater Planning Commission meeting of June 4th, 2024 is now called to order. It will be the process this evening to call for items on the agenda. The commission will hear briefly from staff first, then the applicant and/or their representative, then open the public hearing and hear from those in favor and/or in opposition to the request. When you come to the podium, please clearly state your name and address for the record. Then before closing the public hearing, both staff, the applicant and/or their representative will be provided an opportunity to respond and to provide additional information and answer any questions. After all interested parties have spoken, the public hearing will be closed. We will hear closing remarks and alternatives from staff. With that, we have one item under general orders, and this is item SUB 22-08, preliminary plat. We'll hear from staff first.
All right. Good evening, Planning Commission. As stated, this is concerning the preliminary plat known as Quail Meadows. My name is Diana Hood. I'm the associate planner. So this is an area map of the subject property. It is on the southeast corner of the intersection of Lakeview and Grandview. Stillwater Junior High and Skyline Elementary are located to the south. As a background, this preliminary plat was approved by the Planning Commission on June 14th, 2022, and is not yet complete. And the Bancroft Design, who is the engineering firm on this project, has provided an expected timeline as for the completion. The applicant is asking for a 24-month extension to the preliminary plat. So the Land Development Code requires an approved final plat to be filed within 2 years of the preliminary plat's approval. As stated, this was originally approved on June 14th, 2022, so that expiration date is approaching, and the project is not ready. It's not complete yet. So the applicant has requested an extension of the plat. Here is the approved preliminary plat. It is rotated about 90 degrees clockwise. So on the right side of the screen is Lakeview, and on the top of the screen is Grandview Street. Are there any questions for staff?
I don't see any questions. Thank you, Diana. At this time, we ask that the applicant or their representative come forward and give us a little bit more information about the project.
Hello, my name is Aaron Ferguson with Bancroft Design, located at 923 South Lowry. And the reason for the extension is, if you have a copy of the preliminary plat, there is no immediate sewer access to the property, and so as part of the initial plat, we show an off-site sewer access that runs north to Lakeview and then farther north into what is the White Barn Estates. And that was one of a couple of initial ideas to gain sewer access. And there's just been a very difficult time gaining sewer access to the property. We've pursued a couple different avenues, and we're still in the process of trying to gain sewer access right now to the property. And we have submitted sewer plans along this route right now. The most recent plans were submitted in March of this past year, and they are awaiting revisions right now. And to keep a long story short, the city prefers a route to the property to the east and going south rather than north, and that property owner was initially receptive to the plan, but then later showed to be resistant, and that that route is now kind of working its way through the court system while we pursued the route to the north. And after we submitted the plans to the city for the route to the north, that property owner then came back and requested a different route along his property. And so we're still working with that property owner to finalize that route and seeing if his new route is also acceptable to the city, because it has to meet still city requirements. And still, we're still trying to finalize how we're going to get sewer to the site right now. And so that's really has been the hang up, is trying to figure out how to get sewer to the property and working with all the different property owners and getting easement to it. Are there any questions?
I'm not sure I followed, but the route to the north was the one where they came back and he wanted to change the route?
Yes,
Okay, not the one you're in the court system with.
correct, yeah.
Okay.
Any other questions for the applicant at this time?
I don't know if this is an applicant question or not, but what are the ramifications if we didn't extend?
If we didn't extend, then we would have to file a new, apply for a new preliminary plat.
Okay, so you start over at that point?
Yes.
Gotcha.
Any other questions? I don't see any. Thank you.
Thank you.
So at this time, I'll open the public hearing and ask if there's anyone in the audience this evening that would like to speak in favor of this item.
There is no
There's,
public hearing.
oh, sorry,
for
no
tonight.
public hearing. Okay,
Correct.
so now we just ask for staff? Okay, sorry about that. Out of order. Staff would return and provide our findings and alternatives.
All right. So the findings are that the request for the extension to be approved, to the approved or preliminary plat prior to the expiration date to the Planning Commission is set forth by Section 23-63 G1 of the Land Development Code. And the preliminary plat expiration date is June 14th, and that the comprehensive plan recommends high-density residential uses at this location. Your alternatives for tonight are to accept the findings and approve the proposed extension of the preliminary plat as presented, approve the proposed extension of the approved preliminary plat with conditions, noting what conditions should be met for the approval of the extension, or reject findings and deny the proposed extension of the plat as it is.
Any questions for staff? Thank you. Commissioners, any discussion or perhaps a motion?
Well, I guess it seems to me that there would be no reason to not approve the extension unless something's fundamentally changed from the preliminary plat originally, and we wanted to have the chance to review that. It seems.
So, I mean, it seems to me that this has just been in the works for 2 years. There have been some circumstances have changed from the original plan of action that all the parties were undergoing when it first started 2 years ago. It still seems to me that if we're looking, that the comprehensive plan is looking at high-density residential in here, this still seems to be an appropriate plat to me for this location. You're going to have to figure out a sewer situation one way or the other, and looks like they have some options on the table.
And that'll all be resolved before final plat anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't, I don't see any harm in this. It just seems to would kind of
If not, it'll just circle back to us and it'll
Right.
be having to do preliminary plat anyways, so.
Yeah.
With that, I will motion to accept the findings and approve the proposed extension of the approved preliminary plat as presented.
Second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. We shall now vote. Motion passes 5-0. And that is it for general orders. The next item on the agenda are miscellaneous items from staff, planning commissioners, or city attorney for discussion and possible action. I would like to take this time to thank Commissioner Van Leuven for his service to the Planning Commission. We've enjoyed having you.
Appreciate it. It's been great.
The item that we do have listed is the next regular meeting is Tuesday, June 25th. And are there any other miscellaneous items? Seeing none, Chair would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We shall now vote. Motion passes 5-0. We are now adjourned.